There was a night, not long ago, when Caitlin Clark stood on the court in Indianapolis, and something happened that no one in the history of the WNBA had ever done twice as many times as her nearest rival. But to understand why that night mattered so much, you have to go back. Back to a rookie season full of promise. Back to a year that fell apart. And back to a comeback that almost nobody saw coming this fast. Rewind to 2024. Caitlin Clark walks into the WNBA as the #1 overall pick, and the league has never felt her impact before. She's electric. She's must-watch television. The Fever, a franchise that had spent years scraping for relevance, suddenly finds itself at the center of a basketball universe. Fans pack arenas just to catch a glimpse of her. Her rookie year is a spark, a promise of things to come, and Indiana starts to believe that a championship isn't just a fantasy anymore. Then, the front office makes a bold move. They bring in a new head coach, Stephanie White, and the pieces start falling into place. Expectations skyrocket. This is supposed to be the year Indiana finally breaks through. The year Caitlin Clark proves she isn't just a phenomenon, she's a champion in the making. But basketball doesn't care about your plans. Injuries strike, one after another. They chip away at Clark's season. Until she's no longer the player driving the offense, she's the player standing on the sideline, watching her team fight without her. She's still there, still present, still yelling at referees, still cheering her teammates through every possession. But it isn't the same, and everyone knows it. The season that was supposed to be a coronation turns into a long, painful lesson in patience. Fans wonder if the magic is gone. Critics start to whisper, maybe she was overhyped. Maybe the injuries are a sign of something bigger. Maybe the league has adjusted, and defenses have finally figured her out. The doubt doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from silence. From an empty spot in the lineup where a superstar used to be. And then this season begins. And Caitlin Clark makes one thing very clear, very fast. She's here to play. Game after game, she puts up numbers most players in league history have never touched. She's scoring in double digits almost every single outing. She's setting up her teammates. She's controlling the tempo of games like a veteran who's been doing this for a decade. But it isn't just about stats on a page. It's about a player who refuses to let the noise define her. And there has been noise. So much noise. This season, the Fever have been a magnet for headlines that have nothing to do with basketball. Tension between players. Comments that spark controversy. Online rumors and trolls stirring up division among fans, forcing the head coach herself to step in and address the chaos publicly. For a team trying to build chemistry and chase a championship, this is exactly the kind of distraction that can derail everything. It would have been easy for Caitlin Clark to get swallowed by it, to let the drama outside the lines bleed into her performance on the court. Instead, she's done the opposite. While everyone else is talking about the noise, she's letting her game do the talking. Then comes the night against the Dallas Wings. The Fever needed this one, not just for the win, but for the statement. And Clark delivers, dropping 29 points and dishing out 10 assists in a hard-fought victory. But buried inside that stat line is something even bigger. That performance marks the 20th time in her career she has recorded at least 20 points and 10 assists in a single game. 20 times. No other player in WNBA history has done it more than 10. She isn't just ahead of the pack. She's rewritten what the pack even looks like. Think about what that means. Every single time Clark hits that 20-10 mark, she's doing something almost no one else in the sport's history has managed even once. And she's done it 20 times. In a league with legends, with Hall of Famers, with players who've been grinding for over a decade, Caitlin Clark, still early in her career, already stands alone at the top of that particular mountain. This is the moment. This is the payoff for everything that came before. The rookie year that promised so much. The championship dream that got interrupted by injury. The doubt that crept in during the silence. The distractions that threatened to pull focus away from the game itself. All of it leads here, to a player who is peaking at exactly the moment her team needs her most. Because make no mistake, the Fever need her. With the controversy swirling and the pressure mounting, Indiana needed someone to step up and remind everyone why they believed in this team in the first place. And Clark isn't just stepping up. She's soaring. Picture the locker room in the moments after that Dallas game. The scoreboard tells one story, a hard-fought win that keeps the Fever near the top of their conference. But the deeper story is written in the way Clark carries herself walking off that court. There's no wasted celebration, no look at me moment. Just a quiet confidence that says she expected this all along. That's the difference between a player chasing a moment and a player who has already arrived. Go back further, and you start to see the full shape of this arc. When Clark was sidelined during that lost season, analysts across the league debated her future in real time. Some argued the physical toll of carrying a franchise, a fan base, and an entire television audience on her shoulders was simply too much for one body to withstand. Others pointed to the increased physicality opposing defenses threw at her, wondering aloud whether the league had already solved the puzzle she once seemed unstoppable at cracking. Every missed game added fuel to that speculation. Every empty stat line became evidence in a case that was building against her. And yet here's the twist nobody saw coming quite this fast. Instead of coming back timid, instead of easing into the season cautiously to protect her body, Clark came back sharper, more decisive, more dangerous with the ball in her hands. The hesitation that critics predicted never showed up. What showed up instead was a player determined to make up for lost time, game by game, possession by possession. The story writing itself right now in Indianapolis isn't just about a talented young guard putting up big numbers. It's about resilience. It's about a player who watched an entire season slip away due to injury, who heard the whispers questioning whether she'd ever be the same, and who has answered every single doubt not with words, but with performance after performance that leaves no room for argument. If you ever wondered whether Caitlin Clark had what it takes to be one of the greatest to ever do this, the answer is unfolding right in front of us. Not in highlight reels alone, not in jersey sales or ticket prices, but in a stat sheet that speaks a language only the truly elite understand. The rookie who arrived with impossibly high expectations. The player who lost a season to injury and had to watch from the bench. The competitor who refused to let outside noise derail her focus. She's back, and she isn't just back to where she was. She's better. And as the Fever push forward into the most important stretch of their season, with a spot atop their conference on the line and a championship dream still very much alive, one thing has become impossible to ignore. Caitlin Clark isn't just heating up. She's exactly what this team needed, at exactly the right time. And the rest of the league better be watching, because this might only be the beginning.